episode is going to be just a lot of hand gestures and tick noises.
Yeah. Our autism diagnoses came in, and you guys were all right. There's this podcast I listen to called Botched, where it's two women who go over like true crime stuff, and one of the hosts was literally diagnosed by her audience as having autism because every time they had a guest on, she would like dramatically change her personality.
Oh,
which like it's masking, right?
Yeah,
which
okay.
is like
Yeah,
more
yeah.
common with like how women, mask than with men.
like in The Mask.
Yeah, like in The Mask with Jim Carrey. So anyway, yeah, like the green mask, all that stuff. So anyway, it's funny. Like her audience essentially bullied her into getting a formal diagnosis, and the doctor was straight up like, "Yeah, you're autistic." So the woman found out she was autistic because of her audience.
Just like Nathan Fielder.
Yeah, pretty much. So, well, that one's a little more ambiguous, but yeah, essentially. So I shudder to think what our audience is diagnosing us with.
Fatal lungworm disease, probably,
Yeah, it's
if I had to guess.
an entirely new creation
All
that
right.
we're patient zero of.
Shall we actually get into it?
Yeah, I guess. I'm actually stalling because I really don't want to talk about this one.
Just like how I felt watching it, right in the middle.
Right.
Welcome to VCR, Vintage Cinema Rewind. We're bringing old movies to new viewers. I'm Blake.
And I'm Michael, and I am not under the influence, but boy, do I wish I was.
And boy, is this woman under the influence.
Of a
'cause
lot of different things.
we're doing A Woman Under the Influence from 1974.
Hey, do you want to explain... do you want to explain yourself to me? Like, why did you pick this movie?
This is our actress month, so we've been looking at actresses of yesteryear, looking at some movies of theirs that maybe need to be highlighted, have been maybe underwatched, or I feel like male actresses have spent more time in the spotlight than female actresses, so it's kind of nice to get to experience their filmography.
Yeah, and I mean, especially like, Gena, what's her name? Like
Gena Rowlands?
Gena Rowlands, yeah, the movie.
You should know the person that we're talking about.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what I don't know. But especially she must have been like in her 50s when this movie came out?
She was 42, I believe, when they filmed this.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, especially like actresses of a certain age, often, even nowadays, they get kind of tossed aside by Hollywood, so...
Like, if you were going to compare this movie in terms of an actress kind of getting a very important role at a, point in her career that maybe she wouldn't normally get a role or a movie even are built around her, like Everything Everywhere All at Once is kind of a comparison that you could make.
Sure.
Because, we've talked about that movie quite a bit on this podcast in prior years because both of us love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of Michelle Yeoh being a middle-aged woman having middle-aged woman problems.
Wow, a very smart person said that. And that person was me. Yeah.
It was kind of in that regard that I was looking for movies. And then I also, because last year we ended up doing Anna Karina and the director, Jean-Luc Godard.
Yeah.
Them kind of as a pairing, I thought, oh, this might be cool to do another director-actress performance pairing again. And, what better pick than Gena Rowlands, who is married to the legendary independent filmmaker John Cassavetes.
Interesting. So they were actually married at the time of this movie.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, they were married for like 20 or 30 years. So they did a whole stretch of movies together. And the second movie we're going to explore, Gloria, on the next episodes, is also another pairing of theirs. Although, as I understand it, maybe a little bit more accessible than this one is.
I'm just going to put my cards on the table right now. It's funny. I always feel like I always start off these episodes by saying what I really think.
Yep.
So I'm always throwing my cards on the table at this point, but this is a tough watch.
This is a really tough watch.
Not to say that the movie's bad or that it's poorly made, but it's almost...
unbearable?
It's almost an unwatchable movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just want to point out, there's sort of like a 4-person stable on this podcast. There's you, me, and our partners, right?
Yep.
Because we usually watch everything with them. I feel like between the 4 of us, I have the strongest stomach when it comes to like emotionally grueling content.
Right.
It took me 3 tries to get through this movie.
Yeah.
So that should tell you how unbearable it is.
I think I paused it probably twice, just take like a 5-minute break, basically.
Yeah, like it's almost like I haven't smoked in years, but I needed a cigarette.
That's a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like this is such a tough watch. Even back in 1974 when it was released, I think it was a very tough watch. But even now,
Arguably even worse back then.
yeah, it's tougher for maybe a couple different ways, which we'll get into. I guess we can get into it now. But that's not to say that this isn't one of, in my opinion, the best performances of all time.
Oh, sure. Like, so Gena Rowlands and
Rowlands.
Jesus.
Christ.
Everybody get low. Gena Rowlands, see, I got it this time. Third time's the charm. Like her and her husband, played by Peter Falk, are both. I mean, everyone's phenomenal in this movie, but them two in particular. Like,
Yeah.
I believe these assholes are married.
It almost goes further than that. Like, I believe these are two very real human beings experiencing some very real emotions and life events over the course of this movie.
Yeah.
Like you could almost say that this movie feels like a documentary to a degree, just because of the like naturalistic style that John Cassavetes goes for.
It's to the point where, like, if you told me that there wasn't even really like a formal script, it was more just like,
Yeah.
it like a lot. If you told me most of this movie was improvised, I would have believed you, because their conversations don't feel like the kind of conversations that like a writer would come up with.
No, they're not tightly written conversations. It's more about the mood and the vibe.
Yeah.
And, like,
and the characters aren't like clever or like overly witty or snarky.
It's more about like them as characters, like their personalities and their tics and their problems, and just us kind of living in that, fully embodying it over the 2.5-hour runtime of this movie.
One thing I'll say too is that, and maybe this is actually a warning to our listeners, like this movie does a really interesting thing too, where they're long scenes that you almost can't escape from.
Yeah.
There's some scenes that just drag on and on and on to the point where you're just like, I'm so uncomfortable right now.
It's a movie that lingers.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I would say to a degree it's like anti-cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
You've kind of throw out the tight narrative structure. You throw out like shots that cut from spot to spot. You know, every piece of dialogue, just like you said, doesn't necessarily need to matter. It's such a different experience that I think even for me, who has seen quite a few movies, like it does take your brain some time to just kind of get into, inhabit this world.
Yeah.
Because again, it almost feels more like a documentary than a film.
That is, yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Should I do the plot summary?
Yeah, I think we're just about there. Like, I guess the only other piece that, like, again, I just want to hammer home, like, who this movie's for in 2026, like, again, Gena Rowlands' performance is incredible.
Yes.
You know, if you're interested in something that's not a typical Hollywood story, like, this is literally about a middle-aged woman dealing with, like, a severe mental health crisis, basically.
Yeah, in a time and place when, like, you know, they weren't really equipped to deal with stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's brutal. Like, it's one of the toughest things you'll ever have to sit down and watch if you choose to do that. So that, in that regard, like, this is so tough to recommend. Like, so tough to recommend. But again, you can get a lot out of this movie.
Yeah, like a drinking problem. Ish.
Yeah, Jess and I have been watching Band of Brothers, and there's an episode when Marky Mark's brother is in the show, and he starts smoking. The one guy's like, "You don't smoke," and he's like, "Well, I didn't, because yeah, war is hell, and so is this movie."
Right. So I know this is an audio only podcast, but just imagine me and Blake smoking right now.
I'm just picturing like the Ben Affleck meme. So
yeah,
that.
Yeah, that too. God, he's so memeable. Okay, so plot summary such that it's kind of a little bit hard to give a plot summary because there's almost not a lot of plot. Like,
no.
even
this is like also like a 6-scene movie. Like, it feels
kinda. It's almost like a play.
Yeah.
Like,
and we'll talk about that in the deep dive too.
Like, I mean, if pressed, you could probably show me the movie again and I can chart like the act breaks, but like, It's very loosely structured.
Right.
Which I think adds to, like you say, the sense of a the sense of just lingering around this movie and how uncomfortable things are. But
yeah, and very intentionally so.
For sure. So basically, all you really need to know is that Peter Falk stars as Nick Longhetty. He's like a construction worker who works for the city, and his wife, Mabel, played by Gena Rowlands. See, I said it right again. Basically, they're just kind of your typical blue-collar suburban family. Like, Nick works too much and is gone for long stretches of time, it seems like, and Mabel is this very nervous, very put-upon housewife to him and their 3 children. Kind of the inciting incident, if you could call it that, is Mabel has sent their children away to stay with her mother so that her and Nick can have sort of like a romantic night with each other.
Yeah.
There's a big accident in the city, like a street gets flooded. I think like somebody hits a water main or some shit. So Nick has to work all night and can't come home. Mabel, kids are gone, husband's not coming home. She decides to go out for a night on the town by herself and get really drunk. And disaster just follows from there.
Yeah,
so
there's an unwinding of her psyche essentially over that period of time, and things kind of spiral from there. This movie is pretty heavy at times, and it never really holds up. And there's no like moment of catharsis in this movie either.
Yeah, there's no like quippy comic relief character. There's no side quests. It's just like you're just in it.
There's no like easy put a bow on it kind of happy ending to this either, just as like a heads up.
Yeah. By the way, if you thought this movie about a mental health crisis would have a happy ending, do I have news for you? So again, I wandered to these movies knowing nothing. And so when Mabel first struck out on her own because Nick wasn't coming home that night, I was like, oh, is it like what's that Kubrick movie with Tom Cruise, Eyes Wide Shut?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what, is it going to be Eyes Wide Shut? Like, is she going to stumble into a sex cult? Then little did I know that what actually happened would be somehow worse.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this one's tough. So obviously Gena Rowlands is why we did this movie. Modern audiences, I mean, she was born in 1949, I believe. So modern audiences, I think the biggest thing that you're going to know her from is The Notebook. She plays the older woman that Rachel McAdams is playing.
No shit.
Yeah, also directed by her son, Nick Cassavetes.
Cool.
And yeah, shows Gena Rowlands is, obviously very famous for all of her roles and collaborations with John Cassavetes, and Gloria is another movie that she actually got nominated for an Oscar for, because this one is another performance that she was nominated for.
Oh, good.
And I think a lot of her films are kind of more in the independent cinema world than doing like big Hollywood productions. Kind of a cool career, and I'm actually looking forward to talking about her performances a little bit more.
Yeah, I think maybe a few years ago she got like a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Oscars.
Yeah.
And she actually died recently.
Yeah, like 2024.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Jesus.
Death, not her. Death.
We did do a movie all about death incarnate.
We sure did. And we'll do it again.
And she stars alongside Peter Falk, one of their best friends. I think modern audiences are like obviously going to have a very close connection with him from the grandpa from The Princess Bride.
That's right. He's phenomenal in that role, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you grew up with a close relationship with your grandfather, you'll see him in that performance.
Yeah. It's a really heartwarming performance. And yeah, I think a lot of millennials are going to kind of instantly, like, if you're watching this movie, go, oh, I know that guy. And it's from that. He also was like extremely famous in the 70s for playing Columbo.
Oh yeah, and you know what, like, I know who Columbo is, so like it's a role that sort of was passed down through the generations.
Yeah, it's so funny. I've been watching this like old British TV show from like the 2000s, and they actually reference Columbo in it, like, and it's all in the character's head, so you can hear him thinking. And he's like, and now I'm gonna turn and do the Columbo thing.
Yeah. He was famous for, like, he would act like a kind of a stumbling boob to get people to lower their guard, and then as he was leaving, he'd just go, just one last question.
Yeah, because he was like an investigator in the show.
Right. Which, by the way, it would work on me, but Anyway, it's funny when the movie first started. I'm like, that guy looks like Columbo, and I looked closer. I'm like, that is Columbo.
Yeah, pretty distinct looking guy. He's got the fake eye, so he's kind of got that squint in most of his scenes.
That's right.
So pretty easy to pick Peter Falk out of a line of people.
Well, it's funny. I went to a wedding this weekend. It wasn't mine, but
Peter Falk was there?
No. But I was talking. I was talking to my girlfriend's dad, and he was like, "So what are you doing for the podcast?" And I'm like, "Oh, and I was explaining it to him, and I told him Peter Falk was in it, and he's like, "So my girlfriend's dad is like 65 or something."
Mhm.
And he's like, I see some of those guys from like the 70s, and I look at them, and I feel like they look older than I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like 20 years older than them. And I'm like, yeah, it's funny. You told me Gena Rowlands was like 42, and I was like, really? Like,
Well, but also in this movie, the way that she's stylized in her like moment of crisis as well. Like this is not somebody
fair
who's
enough.
dolled up either, right?
well, I guess that's kind of what I was talking, Dave, my girlfriend's dad, I was talking to him about it. I'm like, what kind of shocked
Friend
me?
of the pod, Dave.
Friend of the pod, Dave. But Dave and Death, two friends of the pod. But
Hopefully not friends with each other yet.
let's hope not. But anyways, what kind of shocked me about this movie, especially in kind of that opening spaghetti scene, I was like looking around, I'm like, wow, everyone at this table looks like shit.
Yeah,
And I was-
that's something that I really love about this movie is that there's no like, Hollywood attractive person who just in the real world doesn't exist. All of these people are just like real human beings.
Yeah, they're just like your dad's friends that
Yeah.
occasionally came over for a beer. Like, sometimes I'll watch like Hallmark movies with my girlfriend, or I'll watch, whatever. And it's just everybody on screen is gorgeous, right?
Right.
Like even like bit part extras, like,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
So,
wearing veneers.
right. So it's shocking to go back to the 70s when like they could just let normal looking people on screen.
Yeah, and some people like really hideous.
Yeah, I know. Ugh.
Those are obviously two of the best performances in this movie and what are going to sell you on it. John Cassavetes is the director as well, which we've talked about before. Like he was in The Dirty Dozen, which is a movie that I really liked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's kind of the like guy on the like the most man on the loose kind of guy in The Dirty Dozen. Did you watch? Were you on the
Oh
Dirty
yeah,
Dozen
I
episode?
was here for that shit.
Okay.
I'll have to double check though.
Yeah, he's kind of the loose cannon of the group.
Oh, like kind of like the gangster or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Shit.
him.
Okay, I didn't realize he went on to become a director.
Yeah, I mean one of the most famous independent directors of all time.
Okay. Shit.
And also, I think this is kind of funny that like because of how independent this movie is, like it barely got financed, and what it did get financed was just like basically John Cassavetes running around Hollywood for like 2 years trying to get money, basically. From
Well,
friends and
I did
family.
see that apparently, even at the time, studio execs were straight up like, "We don't want to see a movie about some old bag."
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
yeah.
much. And so like I think they filmed this at their house, and it also has like a lot of their family are in this movie. Like one of their kids is in this movie as one of the kids. The mom, Nick's mom, Peter Falk's mom, is actually John Cassavetes' mom.
Oh wow.
And Gena Rowlands, Mabel's mom, is actually Gena Rowlands' mom.
Holy shit! So it is barely a movie. It's like a home video.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I think Adolf, I'm pretty sure in the last act, who just randomly shows up, a man named Adolf.
Really unfortunate.
Well, that's what life was like, Michael, in the 70s.
Yeah.
Sometimes you had an old Uncle Adolf.
Don't ask him his opinions on banking. As an aside, one of my favorite I used to watch, you remember Archer, the cartoon?
Yep.
Remember how they were part of like a counterintelligence task force called ISIS? But then ISIS, the actual terrorist cell, rose to prominence. So one season they just had to quietly be defunded and start a different organization called something else. I was like,
Nice.
that's really funny.
I like that. So yeah, I mean, this is a movie that it's such a tough watch. Like, and when to watch it?
How about never?
Maybe a Sunday afternoon where you can take a pause and like get up and I don't know, walk around, have a
Cry,
smoke.
yeah.
Yeah, hug yourself, hug your loved ones. Yeah, this is tough. Like
I gotta be honest, I don't think I'm coming back to this one.
I genuinely don't know if I could put myself through this again. Like there's
Yeah.
like, to kind of put this into perspective if you haven't seen this movie yet, there's like a 20 to 25 minute scene, or it feels like it's probably about that long, when the character is like really in the throes of a mental health crisis, and we've got like characters kind of like egging her on and other characters trying to help her, and it's like everybody's trying to help her in a different way, and it's really, really messy.
Well, there's also, this is the kind of family, and this was the kind of period of time where people thought you could fix a mental health crisis by just screaming at them loud enough. Yeah. There's a scene where I was like, hit her again, Peter Falk. I'm sure that'll do it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong, though.
I'm
like,
being sarcastic.
but like you're not wrong to a degree, though, right? Like this movie, there's just no escape. It clearly wants you to just like linger in this moment and these feelings and emotions, and it's extraordinarily successful at that. But being extraordinarily successful at making you miserable still just makes you miserable.
Well, again, and I feel like I almost kind of learned something about myself watching this, because again, I had this conversation with my girlfriend recently where we talked about how, like, she, when she watches a movie, wants to be uplifted a little bit,
Yep.
right? And I do too, but I also have more of an appetite for, like, things that hurt, right?
This is one of the most painful movies ever.
Yeah, this actually broke my pain threshold, and I think part of it is like, okay, so a movie like Children of Men,
Yep.
that's another grueling movie, but I loved it.
Yeah.
It's the difference between fantastical dread and mundane dread. And that kind of mundane domestic dread of this movie is almost harder to tolerate.
Well, and the way that it's shot as well, which we'll talk about in the deep dive more, there's just a way that this movie, again, lingers on faces, and it lets you just, like, you just don't get a reprieve, right? Like, when John Cassavetes wants you to stare at Gena Rowlands' face, here's another great example, is the first two movies, X and Pearl, the horror movies, and Mia Goth's performance in that, like, they're at the end of Pearl, there's like during the credits that's like 4 minutes long.
It's the big unbroken shot.
And that's kind of this movie for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, there is no escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough watch for sure. So where to watch? Gonna have to rent this one, although it is a Criterion Collection movie because it is a pretty acclaimed film.
Look, obviously I'm not in favor of privacy, but as of a month ago, somebody posted this movie to YouTube.
Oh.
So by the time this episode comes out, it might be gone.
Yeah.
But you might be able to find it on YouTube.
Interesting. John Cassavetes and Gena Rowlands have both passed away, so I feel a little less gross about it.
Hey,
Up
there
to
you go.
So I think that's kind of the primer episode on this miserable goddamn movie, and I guess we'll see you for the deep dive.
Yeah, I guess so. Come back. We'll be here.
Please come back.
Just wander through the haze of cigarette smoke and you'll find us.
Just have Ben Affleck point you in the right direction.
Yeah. You know that motherfucker's seen this movie.
100% he has.
Yeah.
Him and Matt Damon watched it together.
I'm sure they did.
Matt Damon.